Hello, grade threes. Welcome back to our virtual math classroom. This is Miss Crystal again, coming to you live from Langdon School. Last time we talked about what multiplication was, when to use it, and how we can relate it to addition. Today we are going to figure out when do I multiply, and we're going to compare that to when you should just use addition. So I'm going to go through a couple examples in this video, and then at the end I'm going to go through pages 157 and 158 that are due at the end of the week. So please make sure you stick around till the end of the video so that you can have the right instructions for that or those sheets. All right, let's get started. So first of all, I would like to apologize to my BMX riders out there, Jesse, Lacey, Cameron C. I know that those are not very good bicycle drawings, but I did my best. Bear with me. So let's pretend you're outside on a social distancing walk and you see a group of 5 bicycles and a tricycle. And for some reason you're like, I wonder how many wheels there are altogether. Well, we know that multiplication is the number of groups plus how many are in a group equals, does anybody remember what the total is in multiplication, what it's called? In addition, we have the sum. In multiplication, we have the product. Good. I hope you remembered. If not, that's okay. We only went through it once. So we are going to try to figure out how many wheels you saw on your bike ride. So let's just take a look at how many bikes we have total. Well, first of all, what are we looking for? We're looking for number of groups. And we're going to look at how many are in the groups. But can we do a multiplication sentence to figure out this question? Can we just do one? No, I hope you yelled no at me. Because of one reason. What is very important about the groups when we're doing multiplication? What do they all have to be? Equal. You're right. All the groups have to be equal. So do we have equal groups here? I'm counting each vehicle as a group right now. Do we have equal groups? We have 2 wheels, 2 wheels, 2 wheels, 2 wheels, 2 wheels. I'm going to put 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Do we have 2 wheels here? No, we have 3. So can we do a multiplication sentence to answer this question? In my imaginary classroom, people said both yes and no. And you're kind of right, all of you. So yes, you could do a multiplication sentence for this part of the question. You could figure out how many wheels on the bicycles there are because there's 2 in each group and there's how many groups? 5. So you could do 5 groups of 2. But is that going to give us the total number of wheels? No, we have to add 3 to the total. So if you're not quite comfortable, you don't know what 5 times 2 is, how else can you figure out the answer? Same thing we did the other day, addition. So we would go 2 plus 2 plus 2. How many 2's do I need? 5, you're right, 5 groups, plus 2 plus 2. Equals, and I'm going to use skip counting, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 5 times 2 is 10, but are we done? No, you can't forget the tricycle. You saw the tricycle too, and we want the total number of wheels. So how can I add the tricycle in there? Good, I can just add 3. So 10 plus 3 is, I'm running out of board space, 15. You're right. So in this question, you had to think to yourself, when can I multiply and when can't I multiply? I can't multiply if it's an unequal group, but I can add it to the product. Okay, so now we're going to look at some more examples. I'm going to go through page 72 with you, and that's kind of going to be my example of how to do this. And then I'm going to go through how to do pages 157 and 158 so that you can do those on your own. So please follow along. Again, if you get it right away, feel free to skip the examples and go straight to the instructions, but please don't skip the instructions. I want to make sure you're getting all the answers right on the work you're handing in. Okay, so if you don't have this printed out, that's totally okay. You can follow along on a piece of paper. You could draw your own pictures if you want. It's totally up to you, whatever works for you at this time. We always start with our goal, know when and how to multiply to figure out a total or a product. I've written at the top how we multiply. It is the groups, how many groups, times how many are in the groups, equals the product. So we are going to look at these pictures and turn them into repeated addition and then multiplication sentences. We're kind of going to practice the same thing we did the other day. This time we're just using pictures. So we always make sure to read the question, and we're going to read, it says, write a multiplication sentence or I kind of want you to do and. We're going to do and an addition sentence to describe the total number in each picture. Write both if possible. It's possible. We're going to do it. So we're going to look at these flowers first. And I want you to think on your own, what groups do you see? How many groups of flowers do you see? Okay. Now, if you said, I see groups of 2, that's okay with me because there are. But I'm going to show you the groups of 4. So who saw groups of 4? Good. I saw 3 groups of 4, and I'm going to circle them so that they stand out to me. Remember, I'm using markers so that I can write neatly so that you all can see it. You should not be doing your math in marker, pencil, crayon, pen, anything. You should be doing your math in pencil. So I have circled my 3 groups. What do you notice about all 3 groups? If you said there's 4 in a group, you're right. But if you said that they're equal, you're right as well. Each group has an equal number of flowers in them. This group has 3. This group has 4. This group has 4. And this group has 4. So if I'm going to write my repeated addition sentence, I would have 4 flowers plus 4 flowers plus 4 flowers equals. Now, if I'm going to turn this guy into a multiplication sentence, I will notice that I have how many groups? I have 1 group, 2 groups, 3 groups. I have 3 groups of 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 equal groups of 4 equals, and I know that 3 groups of 4, 4, 8, 12, or 4 plus 4 is 8. 8 plus 4 is 12. Both answers are 12. Good. So that's the first question. I hope you can see where I got my numbers from. 4 in a group. There are 3 groups. All right, let's look at our, B, cookies, makes me hungry. Please, on your own, circle or try to look at where the groups are. This one's a little easier. Yeah, you're right, the plates are the groups. So I have a plate here of cookies, and I have a plate here of cookies. Now I'm gonna look, how many are in my group? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cookies here. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cookies here. Are my groups equal? Yep, bingo, both equal. So let's write our repeated addition sentence. I have 5 plus another 5. 2 groups of 5. And I know that you know that 5 plus 5 is 10. Awesome. 10. Now, do we really need to do a multiplication sentence for this? Did we have to skip count to find out 5 plus 5? You might have, but most of you shouldn't have, because you should know 5 plus 5 is 10. That's a double. But we're going to write the multiplication sentence anyway because we're practicing. But if you were in real life and you saw those cookies, you would know 5 plus 5 is 10, just like that. But because we're practicing multiplication, we'll look at this. So how many groups? How many groups? I have 1 group, 2 groups, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a group. 2 times 5 is going to be the same, 10. For these questions, it's super easy to check your answers too, because you can just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Bing. Good. All right, let's look at these pencils. For these pencils, do we have equal groups here? Can you find equal groups? I heard some of you say yes. I heard some of you say no. My invisible class. Yes and no. So you can make a few equal groups. There's 2 pencils here. There's 2 pencils here. There's 2 pencils here, and there's 2 pencils here. But what about this guy? Does he belong in a group? No, he's the extra, and we'll add him on in the end. So how many are in my groups? I have 2, 2, 2, 2, and a little 1 guy there. So if I'm gonna make these guys a multiplication sentence, we got to start with our repeated addition sentence. So I have 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2. That's 4 groups of 2. 4 groups of 2. That equals 2, 4, 6, 8. Good. Okay, are we done? No, we still have our little 1. So we have to go 8 plus 1 equals 9. There are 9 pencils there all together. Okay, good job, everyone. Let's switch off to page 157. And for this, I'm just going to go through with you how to do this. Remember, if you need help at any time, Miss Dennis or I have our office hours, and we're free to Zoom with you whenever works. So again, our goal is to know when and how to multiply to figure out a total. Number 1 says, write a multiplication sentence or an addition sentence to describe the total number in each picture. Write both if possible. Now, you guys remember, you want to show Miss Dennis and I your very best work. We want to see all your knowledge. So please do both. It's good practice. Okay? And if it helps you to write number of groups times how many in a group equals, sorry about the squeaking if you can hear that, it's very annoying. Anyway, okay, so number of groups times how many in a group. And we're gonna write the addition sentence. Woo, threw my pen. And we're gonna write the addition sentence and the multiplication sentence for both. So for A, I should see the number, or the addition sentence. I'll just do number A with you. So I have how many, we're gonna circle our groups first. That's step 1. I have 1 group of skippers here, 1 group of skippers here. I have 2 groups. And how many are in my groups? Make sure they're equal groups. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 2 groups of 4. So 4 plus 4 equals. Now I'm gonna let you figure out the multiplication sentence. Let's look at this one. Do we have equal groups? No. So I want you to think back. How did we figure out the pencils? You're going to use the same way we figured out the pencils to figure out the balloons. Oh, I remembered this time that this freezes. There we go. So now we're on C. And I would like you to look at C and think, do I need a multiplication sentence? Well, or an addition, or can we just look at this and know? How can you see equal groups of these soccer balls? Well, there's 2 here, and then there's 3 here. Are those equal? No. But can I see 1 group? Yeah, I just have 5 there. So if I have 5, am I adding anything? No, I'm not adding anything at all. But can we do a multiplication sentence to figure this one out? Think about it. How many groups do I have? 1. How many are in my group? 5. 1 times 5 equals, I'm gonna let you guys do that. Okay, let's go through the second page and then you're free. All right, so this page number 2 says complete the chart. So in this column, it says multiplication. 5 times 2. This column is the addition sentence. 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2. How many 2's should there be in this addition sentence? 5. Good, because there's 5 groups of 2. And then if we add them together, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, our answer is 10. They've done the same thing for 4 times 2. 4 groups of 2 added together equals 8. Now it's your turn. So they go 3 times 2. They have 3 groups of 2. You're going to write the total. Then you're going to do the same thing, but you have to write the addition sentence in the total. Then they're going to ask you, what pattern do you notice in the chart? So you're going to look at your totals, all these answers that you get, and I want you to see if you can figure out the pattern. What pattern do you see? Now, all of these multiplication sentences mean these are the 2 times table. And that's something we're going to look at a little bit later when we're trying to memorize these answers. But for right now, I'll just let you know these are the 2 times tables, and these are up to 2 times 5. Next, you're going to draw a picture to show what 3 times 3 means. Now, we have done this before, so don't get worried. Look at these are the kinds of pictures I want you to draw. So this picture showed, actually I'll go to this one because we've gotten the answers. This picture here of the flowers showed 3 times 4. All you need to do is think about what does 3 times 3 mean. So you need to draw 3 groups and 3 in a group. You can choose whatever picture you want. Maybe you want to do a better picture than my bikes. That would be cool. Do whatever you feel comfortable with. You could go groups of hearts, groups of frogs, groups of cats, whatever you want. But I should see 3 groups of 3, and then I want to see what 3 times 3 equals. Make sure you write that out so that I can see what the product is. The product is the answer. Okay. Now, number 4, the last question. Imagine 3 boxes with rubber balls in them. Draw balls to show what the boxes might look like if you could multiply to figure out the total number of balls. So you have 3 boxes with rubber balls in them. You get to choose how many balls you put in each box. But we are multiplying these numbers together. So what does each box have to be? Equal. You're right. If I put 2 balls in here, I have to put 2 balls in here and 2 balls in here. If I put 3 balls in here, how many do I have to put in here and here? 3. You're right. I do not want you to go over 5. We are not going over 5. You can go up to 5. You can put 5, 5, 5, but you're not going over. And then B says, draw balls to show what the boxes might look like if you cannot multiply to figure out the total number of balls. So what does a group look like if we can't multiply? Think back to the pencils. We could not multiply all these groups. Why? Why could we not multiply all of these groups together? Because they're not what? Equal. You're right. If we cannot multiply, the boxes cannot be equal. So the difference is these boxes have to be equal number. These boxes don't. You don't want them to be equal. Okay. So that's my lesson for today. I hope you understand. I hope it went well for you. I think you guys are doing a great job. Again, if you need help, feel free to ask Mrs. Dennis or I. We will answer all your questions. We can do a Zoom meeting. We could do a group Zoom meeting. The possibilities are endless. So I hope you enjoy your day. Bye.